Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. I'm also sharing some recipes along the way. And one benefit of frugal living and having cooked for myself and everything for a year and found solutions to different things is that I eat healthier as well. So a lot of us have been in that situation, and I was in that situation. I was working and commuting. That was 80 hours a week. I was absolutely exhausted. I could barely keep my house clean. I was sleeping less than 2 hours a night. I would lay in bed for like 6-ish hours a night, but sleep was like 30 to 120 minutes a night, maybe total. And frequently, if I was getting more than 30 minutes, it was broken up into pieces. So I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I was sick all the time. And I really at some point had no choice but to make a change. I had to quit my job and give up my teaching license because there's no way to make teaching less stressful. There was no way to make it work. My neurologist is like, well, maybe if instead of special ed, you taught kindergarten. Yeah, because kindergartners are known for being calm, cool, and collected and stress-free. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've taught preschool, and those littles, they are super fun, but it doesn't take away the stress of teaching. Especially because my principal got really mad at me that my students weren't all reading by the end of the year. 2 years to 6 years old, all with special needs, and I guess they expected, since I have a hyperlexic kid, that I was going to magically make these children who I spent 2 to 9 months with read. And they experienced growth, but not every kid's going to be a reader at the same rate. Anyways, I digress. So, point of today's video is I have some strawberries I bought for like $1. And I am going to clean them off. I'm going to cut them up. I'm going to add just a smidge of sugar. The reason I'm going to add the sugar is the sugar kind of helps to bring out the extra juices. Then I'm going to puree them or smash them. I'm going to I think I might actually try smashing them and then freezing them. I have some popsicle holders I got for like $1 or $2 a while back, and make fruit pops and kind of see if it's like a healthier alternative and how much I can make and how much it costs, and kind of do a breakdown that way. So first, let's go to the counter and start cutting the strawberries. So my strawberries are all cleaned off. There's any number of ways you can cut strawberries. I don't want to hear in the comments below that I should have used a straw or whatever. I mean, I don't care how you cut strawberries. Whatever you choose is fine. Since I want them cut in pieces, I really don't like the white part of the strawberry. It's just, I don't know, it's just not as good. So that's how I like to do it. Okay, so this is the waste. This is, the white part, and you can see, I mean, like, there's some red on some of them, but this is all the waste from 2 pounds of strawberry. I had 2 of these full, and honestly, in just a full disclosure, they smelled and looked really good, so I did eat one. But I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting these, weighing them, and that way I can get accurate calorie calculations and such for you. Okay, so if you are doing this in a blender, at this point you can just, you can keep them whole because the blender will do the work. But I am actually planning on doing this by hand because I want this to be a low barrier of entry recipe. So I'm just going to really quickly weigh these. Okay, so just for reference, if I had just cut off the tops and left them, I have 507 grams of strawberries. But with the tops, the way I cut them, I have 675. So that's, what did I say before? I can't remember, 500 and some. So that's well over 100 grams of strawberries that I saved. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these little pieces up. Okay, so these strawberries were really fresh and juicy, but I still do want to add just a little sugar to kind of bring out that juice a little bit more. Especially because sugar's not that high in calories when you use it in a very little bit. I have 675 grams of strawberries. I did the calorie calculation. That's 222.75 calories. So adding 32 calories to this, it's still going to be pretty well dispersed. You're looking at 300 calories for how many servings? We'll figure that out as we go. So just lightly sprinkle. Then I'm going to kind of stir it, because the point is to kind of get sugar on all of them. And just to kind of give you an idea, like, this is how I store my sugar. I don't use a ton of it, but I do use some of it in recipes. And so you can kind of see it's kind of creating this glazed look. Now, these could be used for a dessert. They could be used to make strawberry daiquiris at this point. They could be used for any number of things. If you blend this up, and you'll see, like, well, no, I guess you can't really see, but the juice will start to kind of accumulate on the bottom. So I will just leave this sit for a few minutes, and then I'll be back to mash it up. Okay, so you can see they've been sitting. They're really glossy. And I just have one of these little mashers that's by hand. Again, you can puree this in a blender if you have a blender, but I do recognize that I have the privilege of having a Ninja blender and not everybody does. So I am going to show you, you can get, I got this at, I don't know, Goodwill, some thrift store for like $1. You can get generic ones at Dollar Tree or Walmart for like $1.25 to get you started. So really low barrier of entry. And you're just going to kind of squash them, and as you squash them, you're going to see more and more juice come up. This again would be so much easier in the blender, but I do want to show that it's possible and there are options. Okay, so I have been now doing this for 8 minutes and 55 seconds. So about 9 minutes. And you can see there's still some chunks of strawberry. And it's not perfect. Obviously, a blender, an immersion blender, I can think of any number of more efficient ways to do this. And I actually have access to an immersion blender from the library. And I have my own Ninja blender at home. But again, this is about showing you all a lower barrier to entry. So now I'm going to put it on. Now I have 2 different things I'm going to be using. I actually have these Crayola popsicle things that I got for like $1 or $2 when my kid was little. I had 6 of them. I kept 3 of them. And then I also got these. So these were at Dollar Tree. You could get like a 4-pack a few years back. And they're the egg boil things. But if I run out of space, I'm going to use some of these. And I'm actually going to save some of this for later on tonight. I'm going to see if I can find some brown bananas and do some strawberry banana ones. So I guess I'll use this because I feel like this is going to be the easiest to pour. And see about how much is in each of these. I'll put that in there for now. But I'm just going to, I don't know, I can't really see now. Okay. Okay, let's reset that. Because I moved it and it changed. And they will be like chunkier fruit pops, which is okay. I do want to leave a little space at the top for it to freeze. So about 62 grams of strawberries. So this is like maybe a 50-ish calorie, not even. I'd have to look it up. Popsicle. So I'm going to put the lid in. I'm going to kind of rinse it off because I don't want to mess with my freezer. And It's done. I'm going to do the other two. You can see, obviously, this is super affordable too, compared to buying it at the store. At this point, if you wanted it sweeter, if your berries weren't sweet enough, you could add some Splenda or stevia or coconut sugar or regular sugar, whatever you wanted. Jeez, what a mess. So about 188 grams for the three of them. And that can just go in my freezer. I also kind of want to see how much one of these equals out to being, just so that I know, oh, is it going to measure or is it too low? No, it's too low. Okay, I will do these later on tonight and do the comparison so that I can also get you accurate calorie counts. I need to get batteries for the scale. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. I will add I'll see if I can find some brown bananas and add those as well. Okay, so I measured this out. This is about 2.5 tablespoons or 60 grams. And I am going to go ahead then and mash a banana. I got some of the older bananas at Mariano's today. And I'm going to kind of just mash that into the mix. And see how it works. Ew. Got my hands full of bananas. Yuck. But I'm kind of wanting to thicken it up. And again, if you have a blender or a food processor, I highly recommend using that instead, because it's obviously going to be the easier method. Let's see, which is my next smushiest? You. And then I'm just kind of smashing them in here. And then using the masher to mash them in. But again, I mean, right now, it's strawberries and bananas. So, and like 2 teaspoons of sugar, I think I added earlier. To be divided over how many? So essentially, it's just mashed up fruit, which is going to create a healthier snack for you and your kids. And it's something, well, you can't grow the banana at home. Well, I mean, unless you're in like Florida. So if you're one of my Florida viewers, if you're the one girl who watched from Cape Coral, who I happen to know watched from Cape Coral because we had a whole discussion about the library, then I guess you could grow a banana tree. You know, not overnight, but... So this is kind of just like getting thicker. And again, this would be so much easier if I had I have a blender. If I was using the blender. Or the immersion blender from the library. Or the food processor from the library. Then all of these things would be 100% easier. But again, I want this to be something that anybody can do. And if you can get yourself some strawberries for $1, some bananas for even less than $1 a pound, and $1 for a masher. Maybe, under $2, maybe $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Then this is something that you can make. Sorry, I've been boiling water for something. My hot water heater broke again. I really have a feeling when the plumber comes out this time, he's just going to be like, yeah, Melissa, you need to replace it. But we'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to try this smashed up whatever to kind of give myself an idea of flavor and whether I should add another banana. I feel like the blend is like really good. Like you can really taste all of the stuff. So I'm just going to kind of keep it at whatever this mix is. What was it, like 2 bananas? And then if I get a chunk that's got a lot of banana in it, I will simply leave it and smash it. Oh, I almost forgot. So with these, because they don't have a stick, I am going to see if I can balance a toothpick in there. And we'll see how that goes. This is either going to be perfect or an absolute disaster. We'll see. You know what? I'm going to open this and see. You know what? It's staying up. I think it may be okay. So, maybe we'll see. Okay, so I did the math. You can see messy math here. And sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. So all in all, I ended up with 892 total grams of food at a cost of approximately $2.50. The strawberries were like 99 cents a pound, and I used 2 pounds worth. And the bananas were around 50 cents a pound, and I used about a pound's worth. So, $2.50. Now, it didn't match up exactly like gram for gram with the popsicles or Johnny Pops or the Outshine fruit bars or any of them. So then I kind of did the math. So I am that dork. I went and I used the gram measurement that comes in the nutrition label to compare it and get the price difference. So then I just took, because I had 892 total grams, so for $2.50, so I figured out how much it was per gram and just multiplied it by the number of grams in the package of each fruit bar or popsicle, because that, I feel like that's what makes more sense. So my popsicles are about 20 cents each, and they're real fruit. It's 2 teaspoons of sugar spread over what would be about 12 to 13 popsicles. So like 2 or 3 calories worth of sugar. It's a pinch of sugar per popsicle. So I don't think we need to worry about it. I mean, unless you have diabetes, and then, definitely worry about it. But I spent $2.50 and got all of that. So the Outshine bars are $6.19 for 552 grams worth of popsicles. I think it was like 8 of them. No, 9, 12 of them. I can't remember. Just like the popsicle Outshine ones, like the skinny ones. So that would be like paying $1.55 for Outshine bars. For the fruit bars, it's $5.19. It would be like paying $1.21 for a package. The Johnny Pops, which are actually, they're like, oh, it's organic. it's organic cane sugar and water and stuff still. So organic or not, I mean, I'm organic technically. I mean, like organic material. Um, it would be like $1.26, and then popsicles came in the closest price. Popsicles were $5.99 versus $2.35. So you're looking at saving 75% or more in most cases. And I mean, if you're going to do the popsicles, dude, just do Kool-Aid. Just do Kool-Aid in popsicle things, because that's, a closer comparison. But it's a frozen treat. It's quick, it's easy, it's something the kids can enjoy. You can do it with raw fruit, you can do it with juice. Again, honestly, I probably wouldn't smash it by hand again, unless, we're in the zombie apocalypse and electricity goes bye-bye, and then, I probably wouldn't have a freezer. So again, I'd probably be, eating grubs or something. It's zombie apocalypse. But in order to save money, one thing that I like to do is to use whole foods. And a quick and easy recipe, it to take like 8, 9, maybe 10 minutes of smashing. I'll speed it up in the video so you won't know, but it saves a significant amount of money, and then it's healthy for your kids. I mean, because would you be upset about your kids having, a quarter of a banana and 3 strawberries? No. I mean, they have a healthy treat then. So it's healthy. It can be like a treat type food. The younger you teach your kids to like this. So my kid, when he was little, before he ever had junk food, he loved fruit. I used to get the fruit cups from Meijer when they were on sale the night before. They'd be like 75 to 80% off. They don't do that anymore. But I had this really crazy fear when my kid was little that that I would die in the night and he would starve to death without me. So I had to have things like fruit cut up and tomatoes and milk in sippy cups and everything, so that I knew he could toddle down until somebody noticed that there was no movement in the house and came over to check on him. So he ate really healthy food, and I remember thinking, oh, I'm such a horrible mom because I'm so busy and don't have time to make dinner, and so I'm throwing cherry tomatoes and cut fruit in front of my kid, because he wasn't a big meat fan when he was real little. And I realized something. Well, I guess I'm a little ahead. It's better than just, and I mean, I'm not judging here, because I definitely have also given my child fast food. But if you start kids out on healthier treats when they're young, they're more likely to stay with it. I mean, once school starts, you're screwed, but assuming we still have school by the time your kids start school. But it's a healthy treat that you can have for your kids, your grandkids, yourself, if you're trying to eat healthier. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Along with those tips, I'm going to toss in some recipes, some that either can go along with a video I've made, like learning how to cook with whole foods, or that are just frugal in general, so that you can incorporate them into your habits. Feel free to take it and modify it and make it your own, and do what you like with it. I'm also going to, puree mangoes when they come into season. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.